Hello and welcome to the Build with Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build a model kit and hang out with all of you. I'm going to throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the emote in the chat. If you're currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. Jam's already beaten me to it. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Welcome. Welcome, everybody. But yeah, throw those emotes in. If you're not currently a subscriber, you can throw in your emotes from another streamer, or you can just say hi. Aristophan is here. Hi, Aristophan. Throwing in that tier 2. Bobby Dice Roller is here. Welcome, Bobby. Happy to have you here. I am very excited about tonight. It's going to be a fun. Lashbrook is here. Hello. We got a great crew here already. Welcome, welcome. We got an excellent night of model kit building for you tonight. Working on the Altron Gundam, aka the Nadaku. This is from Endless Waltz. This is the where some of these looked more modern. This is a throwback in style, going finally hitting these Chinese roots, going for a luck dragon of sorts coloring, more traditional. I love the arms, the pincer arms so much, the claws, two-headed dragon. Bobby just gifted us up to Julie Cooley. That's the 27th gift they've given to this channel. Bobby, thank you so much for that. I'm hitting the applause. Thank you so much for doing that. Enjoy your subscription, Julie. Yeah. I don't even know if Julie's here right now, but if you are, welcome and enjoy it. If not, I look forward to you finding out. Oh, wow, I've got a gift to sub. That rules. Thank you so much for that, Bobby. Appreciate that. Yeah, this is the hangout portion here. We're getting ready to build the stream. But yeah, I've gotten some of the Altron done here. Julie is here. She is. She was complaining about seeing ads. Oh, wow, okay. So I had to fix that. Oh, there you go. Well, Julie, I'm sorry that you were seeing ads, and that's a bummer. But yeah, welcome. Enjoy your gifted sub. Yeah, I do the pre-roll ad thing at the beginning before the stream starts proper, so that folks that are coming in that aren't subscribers don't have to see that right at the beginning. But I can't solve it from being a problem for everybody. Also, I make like a couple pennies if I do that, because there are a few people watching. Sorry, she was sad this time about not having emotes. Different scenario. Okay, that is a different scenario. But yeah, now Julie, you have the emotes, and welcome. Enjoy your Bear Cave and your Lego emotes. I always say, subscribing to the channel is not something that folks have to do, but I appreciate it. It's one of those things like, on New Year's Eve, we got that burst of like a lot. We were gifted like 30 subs to the community. 25 came from one person. So I have to be ready on February 1st to like check things out, because what February 1st is. Yeah, February 1st is a Monday. So I got to be ready on Monday to be like setting up my stream, get ready. And then I'm just going to remind myself there's not going to be as many people subscribed. There'll be a good number. Don't get me wrong. But it's going to drop because obviously, and they don't have to. Not everyone converts their gifted sub into a real, regular old cool sub. And I get that, and I understand it, and it's okay. Let me see here. What do I want to do? Real quick. Want to do this? Yeah. I'll just, I got to check something real quick. And then we'll get into the building, and we'll finish. Talk amongst yourselves. No, that's not. I'm kidding. Let's see. Did I do something here? I just want to check something real quick here before we get going. Okay. Yep. Okay. Oh yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to turn something off here. Follow. No, I want to keep that. I want to keep that. Monitor chat. Yeah, I want to keep that. Great. Cool. Sorry, I had to change something real quick. By default, there is a setting which is a new thing, where you can send one message once you've been banned from a channel, pleading your case, I guess. And you can turn that off. And I just found out you could turn that off, and I forgot to do that before the stream started. So I apologize for wasting your time. But I did want to turn that off, because I don't want people who I've banned to give them a chance. I'm not here for that. Have I incorrectly banned someone in the past before? Possibly. Do I care? No, not at all. So there you go. My house, my rules. But I want to turn that off. And so we did that. All right. I'm going to reply to my own tweet, or retweet my own tweet, I should say, on the old Twitter machine. See if we can, encourage a few more friends to come join us. And I think that would be fun. And then we'll get to building. I hope you're all doing well here on a Thursday evening. We're going to go to the overhead shot of the Altron right here. You can see right there. Working on. We did all the stuff we need to do now. One of these arms. It's time to continue it, and then we're going to build the hands. But we'll make sure that we're getting this right here. We're sliding this over here. Working on the right arm first, and then we'll move to the left arm. If you haven't been to the stream in a little bit, we're working on the Nadaku. And we've got markers here to let us know what we should be focusing on. Now, the Nadaku, we started this on Monday. There are things to be aware of when talking about this mobile suit. It's not many things that really need to be talked about, but there's a few things. The number one thing is, most of these molds, most of this plastic is from the year 2011, because in 2011, I said 2011, it's 2011, when most of these decisions were made here of these kits. This is the relaunch of some of the 90s kits. It is, the fresh new hot take on it. This is going to go lower, right? I got to look at this here. Why am I this looking? This should want to go lower, but it isn't going any lower. So what's going on there? But yeah, so 2011, they were like, we're going to remake these. And then which is great. It's a cool idea. And then in 2000, I want to say 15, this kit came out. So a lot of these pieces are the inner frames that you're going to see on most of the Endless Waltz kits. But also all of the, not all of the, but a lot of the, okay, so what am I doing? What seems wrong about this? Because something seems off. As I'm talking, something seems off. So I want to see what's going on. So this is going to go here. Then this is going to go... Oh. I got to go like that. Does that fit better? Yes. No, maybe that doesn't. Doesn't seem to fit quite right, and I can't remember why it wouldn't be right, but it doesn't seem to be quite right. That looks okay. But anyway, so these are still old. These aren't as old. But yeah, this kit came out in 2015, but very limited numbers in Japan, and I have been meaning to pick this up, but of course it wasn't something that I could just go and get. But the point I started building model kits again, this was not a feasible kit for me to go find. So I had to wait for it. Someday, I figured, well, someday it'll either end up in sold again or re-released. Something will happen with it, and I'll be able to pick it up. And that something ended up being that there it is. That took a really long time to get on. That just fit just right, and that's how it should be. Okay, that just took a little while to get in the right place. Premium Bandai made this available. Basically, just they took pre-orders for it, and they made a bunch more of this kit. Re-released this kit. It's not a 2020 release. It's not an update. Even the box here, which you can kind of see there, you'll see it's got that green color. The solid colors for the boxes denote that it is a premium Bandai kit. So it is a different, the box is new. The box is the only new thing. And it's just a version of that box that was made. But this is all old kit. So it's got a little bit of the jank of the early 2000 teens kits. As you can see, there was a little jank there, but it is based on the 90s molds with some modifications. So some of this feels like incredibly old hat, stuff I've been doing my whole life, like building these kits, basically. And some of it feels like, oh, there's some new tricks in here. There's a little bit of new tech, but it's not much new tech. I apologize that took a while to get right. I wonder if that'll happen the very next arm that I do. Zorbs! It's been too long since Zorbs just subscribing with Twitch Prime. That's 30 months. Thank you so much. I'm going to hit the old applause on here. Zorbs, welcome, welcome. What's on the barricade leg of the second mode? Zorbs, it has been a little while. I hope you're doing well. Welcome, welcome. Happy to have you here. And Lord Crashington wants me to hit that gong, and I will. I will hit that gong. Thank you, Lord Crashington. Here's the gong. The gong has been hit. Yeah, thank you for using your Prime token. Welcome, welcome. Working on an oldie but a goodie. Happy you're here for this. I do know that these pieces often don't fit quite right until you put the hand in. Love the look of the kit. The colors are so good. They totally are. And Zorbs, one of the things you may notice a little bit here is that I am a thing that I started doing actually in December. So even if you haven't been here for a hot minute, it's a pretty new thing that I'm doing is that I'm doing panel lining now. And I think this kit in particular is going to do very well with panel lining because while the colors I think are beautiful, they are on purpose a little duller than the bright green that you would find on the Altron for pre-endless Waltz and the Shenlong. So I do think that this is like a cool choice of colors. I think it benefits greatly from playing around with using some markers to kind of brighten things up. I think that really helps it stand out. But yeah, that piece is going to pop in and out. Really, the hand is going to keep it in place. And we've got two different things. We can do closed fist. We can do open. I think we're going to do open here because I prefer the open myself. And we got to put... basically, you have one hand, and then you swap between the open, closed, or open. Either one. Panel lining, nice. Do you do that on stream or before you build a kit on stream? So I am doing it as I go because I'm new to it. I'm doing a quick and dirty method, which you'll see as we get into some pieces that will require it. But yeah, I have a brown marker, a gray marker, and a black marker. As you can see on the screen, I am now including that, like what colors I'm using. One, it's good for you to follow along to see what markers I'm using. And two, it's good for me because then I don't have to remember. I could just keep going like, okay, well, now I've got dark green. What am I using for dark green? Oh, I'm using black for dark green. Great. And then I could just move on. But yeah, it should make things pop. It should make it feel a little more professional. And I am looking forward to getting better at it. That's the other thing. I want to get better at doing this. And the only way I can get better at panel lining is consistently panel lining and then looking and seeing where I can improve. So we'll keep at it. But yeah, it's been fun to get used to it, to try things out, to see what works and play around. Actually, instead of the third option here for our hands are our grip hands for weapons. So we'll just use that instead of the closed fist or open. Later it'll be like, oh, you can put this one in. But we're going to do the one that has a little bar here in the center, which is almost impossible to see. But there's a little slot in there that will hold the trident. So we'll do that. But yeah, this doesn't need any panel lining, so we don't have to worry about that. But yeah, I have a very simple panel lining strategy that works very well, particularly for streams like this, where I don't want to sit here and really have to stare at what I'm doing and be very nervous about screwing up. So, speaking of screwing up, I haven't hit a wall, but I've hit a kind of a natural stoppage for me in Hitman 3. I'm still having fun doing it, but I'm definitely having like less fun doing it than I was before. And in fact, I like went back to the first two levels to just kind of like do some other stuff, other things, like try out other methods, try out other strategies. It's like, oh well, let me try this. Can I do this level Silent Assassin? I think I can do this level Silent Assassin. Let's try to do it Silent Assassin. Or okay, well, I let's try to do this, yeah, without murdering anybody except our target. Let's just try to knock out people. Or, okay, well, let me do the first level here as fast as I can. Like, just do it, just go for it and see what's up. Um, so I've been playing around with that a bit. I am still very much enjoying Hitman 3. But as I said, I have hit a point where I'm like kind of stuck, where there's a level like, and I'm not going to give spoilers, there's a level where I'm like, I don't know where I'm fucking this up, but I am. And it's just not coming together. So, I'm trying not to spoil myself. So, like, I haven't watched any videos yet. I want to. I know Vinny didn't finish in an hour, but there's a premium video on Giant Bomb of Vinny Caravella. He's attempting to basically speed run, uh, and do it in an hour, which I think is very fun. I love the idea of that. But as far as I know, he did not succeed in his first episode. But I want to watch that. There's Big Mooney on YouTube he does a lot of kill everyone challenges on Hitman. He's been doing Hitman stuff since the first game. He's a fun dude. Language is rough. His language is rough, but he's a fun guy. He's been putting videos up, so I'm like, kind of want to watch those, but I don't want to spoil myself on this game. I'm generally not even the person that like worries about spoilers. Like, I started playing 13 Sentinels this week, knowing the reveals of it. Like listening to Jan Ochoa tell me what's up with that game. But I'm still like, it's a real good. I'm real psyched about playing it, and I am. I'm enjoying it. I'm barely into it. I'm a couple hours in, but like I said, I'm not generally the person that is worried about spoilers. But I kind of don't want to know everything about Hitman. I kind of want to discover Hitman as I go. I want to be like, oh, there's a whole area here I didn't know about. Oh, I didn't know, like, this thing. I don't know. But I'm dealing with one level that feels like there's something I'm not getting about clearance. Like, I'm like, I cannot find a character that I can isolate and get their costume or uniform to get further in this level. And I don't know where this person is. I don't know what I'm missing. I don't know if I'm missing something obvious. If there's just somebody out there who's like, no, you got to go over here, and then you can just get it and get it done. And I'm like, I just am lost, and I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing here. And so it's frustrating. I'm almost done with 13 Sentinels, and even knowing some of the spoilers going in, it's been fun, and there have still been surprises. Yeah, I'm sure there are going to be some surprises that, some things you didn't anticipate, and I'm also sure that there's stuff that, like, I haven't found anything right now. I said I'm only a couple hours in, that, like, I'm sure there's just stuff that, like, Jan didn't get to. There's, like, little stuff that, like, he didn't mention, and I think that's fine. I'm looking forward to learning more about this game. As we go. But 13 Sentinels so far has been really fun to play. Uh, Again, I'm not trying to give spoilers here, but it's what the fucking name is it? It's the level where you got to go underground. You're going to this facility and you're like going through different checkpoints because you got to find somebody who's like wandering around the map. And that's basically all I'll say about it because I don't want to go too spoilery on Hitman, but it's that level. I can get one guy by like pretending to be a homeless person, but then later when you gotta go do the other thing, I'm like, I am not sure what I'm supposed to be doing here, but I think I'm fucking this up. And again, I'll get it. I'm just not getting it right now. But it's good. I like Hitman 3. Yes, Lashbrook, yeah. I often forget the names of levels. Hey, Lord Crashington. Crashington says, it sure seems like 2021 won't stop being wild. Yeah, no, curse us for living in interesting times, but we still fucking live in them. They didn't go away. Interesting times are here to stay for quite some time. And even when they do go away and we are going back to some normalcy, things will be different. Will be considered different, and other people won't be done. Sometimes it just takes a breaking, like a break, can help get past the difficult part. Yeah, Wristfan. Like I said, I was banging my head up against the wall on that. So what I ended up doing was just saying, like, you know what? I'm going to go back to earlier levels, ones I've beaten, ones I know I can beat, and I'm just going to try some other stuff and see where that takes me. Uh, why does this seem wrong? It's not wrong. Okay. Okay, that goes like that. And that's going to go like that. Yeah. Doing this hand the right way. It's a little rough getting into the second part. Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. Um, but yeah, I'm just going to like, I'll figure it out. It's just been a bit of a confusing part of the game right now. And the choice that I made was just like, I'm going to go back to earlier levels and try some stuff some different ways and have fun with it. See what's up. Try to unlock some other stuff. Get some more mastery so I can get some other gear and feel like I'm doing better that way. Like that kind of thing. Make my life a little easier. One thing about this kit, I have added a little blue tack to try to help this. This head is very loose. This head wants to come off all the time, and I don't want to like put glue in it or liquid cement because I want to be able to move it around. But it is it's real wobbly, and I don't like that. I don't remember that from the high grade of this kit because I have built the high grade of this. The high grade of this I built years ago. Because that was the only way to build this. There were a few kits, okay, back in the 90s when all these things came out, right? There were a few kits that there were no master grades of it. And then eventually there were, and there were limited releases. But like the Death Scythe Hell, the middle one, there's Death Scythe, and the Death Scythe Hell Custom from Endless Waltz. Those had master grades. The Death Scythe Hell only has a high grade. There was never a master grade of it. So I assumed that some of these other kits, like the Heavy Arms, Endless Waltz, the Nautiku, the Sandrock, I would just always assume they didn't get master grades. They did, just limited numbers of them. They did also, however, get high grades because they don't make them that much these days in the 1/100 scale, the high grades, but they did a lot in the 90s. So you just get the high grades, and they were easy builds. I mean, I could put them together with my eyes closed. All right, we're done with the top half here. We're going to work at the bottom, and we can do a lot of this stuff with the feet because we're starting with the feet and working our way up. We can do a lot of this at the same time, which is convenient. Do the left side and right side. Yeah, so you didn't get these kits in that that old school master grade because you got them in high grade, and like if you wanted to build the kit, you had to get the high grade one because that was your only option, even if you were like, this isn't really what I want, which was a shame at the time, because I like building the more detailed ones. That's fun for me. Was this Gundam defeated in combat? If so, how and by whom? Well, this kit was not defeated in combat. It was defeated by actions outside of combat, really. Sorry for the Dwight Schultz style question. So, Endless Waltz has some people who are either undercover or misguided. But basically, the Nautiku is on the terrorism villainous side, but not really. But yeah. And as somebody who is the idealist in the group, it was like, okay, well, I guess he did. I guess he turned his back on everybody. So it was more like a reveal of like, nah, don't worry about it, than anything else. Let's see. But yeah, there's a whole like revolutionary group that has like a child leader, and it's like, oh, this is the offspring of this person, and they're here to do this, and it's like, not really. But basically the Gundams were all supposedly destroyed uh, as a gesture of goodwill because they are devastating between the Earth and the space colonies. Uh, but don't worry about it. There are other Gundams. The Gundams are there and they're cool and you don't have to worry about it. But then they're like, actually, maybe we shouldn't have these Gundams because they are a symbol of war. Uh, which every Gundam show tackles that a little bit. I was talking today on Twitter about Iron Blooded Orphans, which is generally my pick for what I recommend people watch. But honestly, outside of a couple cases, there's a few cases here and there. This is the wrong piece. I got the wrong piece out. These are part of the leg, and I know that. Outside of a few examples, most of the shows do agree that Gundams are bad. That when Gundams have shown up, it is a bad time. That Gundams are cool, but they are devastating. And then some shows do talk about how the fact that we definitely should not be having kids pilot these things. And some shows don't delve that deep into it. But just about every Gundam show is like, hey, these tools of war are like the worst. Are Gundams like horses or cars? No. Second part of the question, like, do the pilots have feelings for their mechs usually, or is it just a vehicle? So, I guess, Bobby, I would say Gundams are like boats in that you name it, you christen it, you do think about it. I guess. They're certainly not as common, but there are people that have like a deep relationship with the mobile suit they're piloting, often Gundams. But then there are also people who are just like, this is the thing I use to get me from A to B and to do the damage I need to do with this thing. Yes. And there's some people that are like, I really want a boat. And then they're like, wow, there's a lot of responsibility and maintenance and all kinds of other stuff going along with having a boat. Maybe I shouldn't have this boat. And then there are people that are like, why are children always the pilots? Also, hello, Pat. How are you tonight? Welcome. Happy to have you here, Distrusting. Welcome. So, there are many different reasons. Luckily, boats don't have to be all piloted by children. Yes, there are many reasons why they're children. The simplest reason is because if you have a child as the main character, a young teen as the main character, they can be yes, they can be idealistic. That's what I was trying to say. I was saying idle, but I meant idealistic. They can have wants and dreams. They can question the status quo, like children do. Also, having a young person as your pilot means that you theoretically appeal to young boys who you would like to like your thing very much, thank you. You would like them to buy the manga and buy the mobile suits, Gunpla, and the action figures, and the wall scrolls, and watch the shows, and stick around for the commercial breaks, thank you very much. You would love to have kids watch your thing. So you put young people in the starring role so that you can have young people watch your thing because they see themselves in it. And of course, there are plenty of shows that have had a mix of the young people in there, but also some cool older people as well, and grizzled veterans. But rarely are the grizzled veterans the main characters. They're usually the sporting characters. They're on the ships. They survive somehow, and now they're calling the shots. Do you think Teen Gohan would be the perfect mech pilot? He'd probably even read the manual. So, Gohan's certainly a learned young man. But the thing about Teen Gohan is that he constantly doesn't know his own strength. So, I think that he would be too strong for a mobile suit. And would be a bad pilot because of that. The suit they would have to make for him to pilot that he could control without destroying would be bad for him. there were cool old people in original Gundam, and they were some of the best characters. Totally, Bobby. But those best characters don't have to, they don't sell the same amount of figures. Now, did Char become a pop icon? Yes, totally. Was Char intended to be that? I don't think so. I think Char was intended to be fucking cool because they put a cool mask on him. But I don't think Char was meant to be like as important as Char became. And I think Char eventually was. They were just like, well, this is a winner. He second guesses himself so much. Yes, totally. I would agree with you on that. Also, can you now finally? Oh yes, you can now finally watch Original Gundam. Yes, Original Gundam is on Crunchyroll. You don't have to go through Gundam Plan, not Gundam Planet, but Gundam Info. You can watch that on Crunchyroll if you want to watch 79. Um, as I've said, I am a broken record on this. I do think that 79 is a great place to start because I do think the pacing is still good and I think the art is still interesting. But if you have found yourself thinking that a 1979 anime is definitely not your vibe, I understand and I get it. Which is why I recommend the very modern, almost the you know the yeah the almost like perfect show that you don't need prior information to watch, and that is Iron-Blooded Orphans. Iron-Blooded Orphans is 2 seasons. It is out of the current century. It is not part of the universal century, so you can just watching. You can just watch it and enjoy it uh, without having to know a lot about the world of Gundam. Does it help? Sure, having the base knowledge, the comparative knowledge of the show certainly would help you. But you can just watch it, and um, you can get the very cool looking Gundams. You can get the issues between Earth and the colonies. You definitely get the war is bad element. They really hit it home, and also it does focus on the child soldiers element. Um, which very much is needed context for people because, like, honestly, Wing I think is great, but a thing that Wing gets wrong is Wing spends almost no time focusing on the characters because there are 5 of them. Now, some of them you know some things about, right? You know a little bit about, Hero is in relation to the relationships around him. Duo, you get a sense of what's going on with Duo. Uh but like Troa, was an acrobat. Like that's like it. Like Quattro has more going on because he is like got a connection to Earth, and he's got support characters that like spend a lot of time talking to him about the things that he's dealing with. So like there's more going on there, but uh, Wing in some instances really pulled back on getting to know these characters and what their deal is. Uh, yeah, um, but there's still plenty to pull from that and what's going on with them. But it definitely like the fact that these are young people often doesn't really come up a lot, which you kind of want. All right, so as I mentioned before, to Zorbs, we are doing some panel lining here. There are a couple lines on this piece, and we're going to hit them before we put them on the kit. With white, we're using the gray marker, and I will show you. I'm sure there are other folks watching that haven't seen me do panel lining. There is a little indent on each side of this kit. We are going to do the quick and dirty method of just hitting it with some ink. And we can be a little off on it. Oh, Harold is now hosting the stream. Thank you, Harold. Welcome. Happy to have you here. So on this one, we really overdid it as compared to this one, which we only did a little bit. Now we're going to take our polymer eraser. We've got just a little eraser here, and we are just going to hit the top of it and clean it up. And the indent is going to leave the line in the indent, but where I'm going over it, it is going to erase all of the other stuff there. And we do that. That's also because the ink hasn't fully dried yet. But this is just the quick, dirty method. We now have just a couple little lines there. You can see that there and right there. And we'll do that as before we put the piece on. We can also do it. I'll also show you if we do it when it's on the piece, which we'll do with this one. Sometimes it's easier because you can kind of see how it blends in and where it looks, especially when you're like thinking about doing where pieces connect. Can't stay long, just checking in, dropping the host. Well, Harold, thank you for dropping the host, and welcome. Happy to have you here. So yeah, so sometimes it's easier to do it off. Some people do it on the sheet. I like to either do it freehand or when it's on the piece, like in between. But here we'll just hit those, and I'm trying to get better at this because I'm still very new at it. So I am doing stuff that sometimes you can't even see. Like I have done the back of this kit, like the back of the head. We're not going to see that, but for me, it's good to just get used to doing that and get practice with it. Speaking of Gundam, have you ever heard of slippers that make Gundam walking sound when you take steps? I've been looking for them for years. No. Bobby, I don't. I have never heard of that. And I don't know if those exist. That's a cool idea, but I don't have information on that to tell you. Okay, we need I3 and I4, which are white. I3 and I4 are the white pieces. Yeah, this is getting real clunky in here. I'm going to have to reorganize this. Maybe I made it up. Sounds real cool. Yeah, I don't know. You may have made that up, Bobby. You may have just thought that into the world, but I don't know if it exists. I remember like generic robot ones, says Lashbrook. Yeah, maybe they were generic, and you just like in your head you associate it with that. But I have not heard of that at all. No, that make the crunching noise. Like it's a robot, like the big like thud noises. Yeah, I don't know. Like there are, like instead of lighting up like British Knights, they make a noise. I guess. Yeah, BK Knights, I should say. They were British Knights, but you gotta call them BK Knights because BK Knights is a better name. All right, so this goes there. Oh yeah, but you push that up so you can go in there. All right. Looking at this, so there are no panel lines here, but where these two white pieces intersect here, I'm going to put some gray. Basically, I think it will just help the kit pop a little bit. I love Gundam walking sounds almost like it was a Cell or Frieza walking, and maybe that's the same, like the crunchy, stompy sound. Yeah, I get what you're saying. I don't know if that has existed. So, as I said here, because this is white on white, but there are some spots in there, you can see where the piece meets. I'm going to hit that, and I'll show you the comparison, which I think is kind of neat to do. So I'm just going to hit this with the gray where these pieces meet, and we'll see how that looks. Then I'll hit this with the eraser to clean it up. All right, and then you can kind of take a look the difference between this piece here and the piece that I have not done yet. It's very bright, so I apologize. Okay, my overhead light is great, except sometimes when you want to look at things that are white. This piece I did a little more panel lining on around the spot here. This leg, this one I haven't. And yeah, I think it just stands out a lot more and shows and defines the piece a little bit. So we'll do it with the other side. But yeah, this will just be simple, just a little right there. Yeah, and then again, hitting it with the eraser to clean up the overshots. And the fact that you can use this eraser, some people use a Q-tip with a little rubbing alcohol. Some people use no rubbing alcohol. Some people use just a tissue. There's a bunch of different methods. I have found I really like how the eraser cleans up lines. And also, the eraser, if there's a lot of gunk on it, you just scrape with your finger or an X-Acto knife and just trim the eraser so you just get the white part there to use. And I think that cleans things up real nice. All right, we'll keep working on the feet here with A6 and A5. Great. This is A. Great. I don't do any marker work on. I don't do anything on black or dark gray. Light gray, I might hit with a black. Especially this is like feet, the bottom of the feet here. I'm not going to hit this with anything. Uh, we'll just leave it as because I don't think I have any markers that are going to make like any parts of this really pop. So I'm not worried about it. And these are going to go in the under parts of the feet here. And then we got to put the backs there. But yeah. Yeah, I don't think I would have anything that would make these stand out and make sense to use. So we're not going to worry about it. Let's see. What else are we going to talk about? I got some game stuff. Of course, we're going to talk about anime in the second hour because it's a stream where I talk about anime. I did my my bonus stream last night, Pepper's Anime Club, and that was fun to do. It was good to talk about all the shows I'm watching and the shows I'm not watching. And to hear what people are into. So that was fun. Had a few new friends join us. We got raided by some people that were like, anime, sure. Black works really well on all the grays. Yes, I could totally see that, Lashbrook. And if I had like a gray or heavy kit, like right now there's not a lot that is going to want marker on the gray. But if I end up with a kit that's going to have a bunch of gray pieces, I can certainly look at that. But most of this is just stuff you're never going to see the bottom of kits and things like that. Like the bottom down here. I'm not going to necessarily worry about putting markers on. But yeah, if I end up with a kit that's like got a lot of gray, especially like a light gray, then I'll definitely be looking into that. I'm going to check this. What is this? Oh. So weird. I just got a copyright claim, not a copy claim, a copyright claim for the Twitch Sings that I did on 12/15/18. That's one of the first Twitch Sing streams. For some reason, I just got, and it's fine because I'm not claiming any ad revenue on those. I'm not going to fight this. But yeah, that's from like the beginning of like that might be my first Twitch Sing stream or one of the first. But that is a recording from 2018 that they're just like, no. I actually wonder if that was, I'm going to quickly just click on this here. I just want to see the video of that. I just want to see it real quick. Sorry. Yeah, that is from 12/15/18. It's so weird. So weird that is that video is just getting a notice. So strange. Weird. Anyway, I get those now and again. I've actually gotten one that was like, "Hey, we rescinded this copyright claim," and I was like, "I don't know what." Okay, sure. Like, sure, you can if you want to. I don't know. They're very strange. All right, now we got to do the ankles here. Ankles are very easy to put together. A lot of this is like muscle memory because, these kits are, different. The Endless Waltz have a different kind of style in many instances. They do feel like older than they almost feel like they came before the show, even though they're after the series. Which I liked. I've always liked that about these kits. But they do feel kind of throwbacky. But a lot of the legs are very similar, if not identical. The arms are where the differences come in because the armor is different. Of course, the Shenlong into the Altron with its, the Shenlong is, or the original heavy arms are they're asymmetrical arms because they just have some differences. So that's always been a thing that's like you kind of just to be like, oh yeah, these are going to look a little different. Nothing wrong with that. But the actual like innards of the legs are all identical, even the Epion, because it's kind of thrown there. I got that for an old video of Star Wars tables in Pinball FX when they first came out. Yeah, I mean it's just one of those things where it's just like every once in a while you just get a copyright claim and you're like, oh okay, Sure. And also that video, yeah, I can't monetize it because it's full of like songs that I don't have access to. So it's like, yeah, I'm not claiming this. I'm not claiming to make ads on this. This is not this is karaoke. It's not transformative, you know? If it's transformative, maybe I would try to argue that stuff, but like, nah. You know, it's not commentary. It's me singing the songs. It's karaoke. Can't I'm not going to try to claim karaoke. I'm not worried about it. But it is weird to see that stuff come up. Especially because, like, the last of the Pat Bear's anime, or not Pat Bear's anime, the last of the Twitch Sing streams I did was, sorry, these are flying all over the place here as I try to get these pieces out. Went up on my Pat Bear VODs because I have switched to Pat Bear VODs for things, which works out good. It's nice to have a VOD channel because I've actually seen it. This is a thing. This is a thing that exists, right? So even if every couple weeks I put up a stream or a video that's an hour, right? Like the next Pat Bear's Anime Club is going to be long. Just doing that every 2 weeks instead of like 3 times a week or 4 times a week really helps my short videos get seen by more people, because the weekly Wednesday videos I do, the numbers have been great. And, you know, it's me reacting to things. It's a fun idea. I think my titles, people are interested in that. But the fact that every Wednesday I put up a new video consistently and it's of a shorter length than these hour-long videos that weren't getting any views helps. And then my other Pet Bears Anime Clubs that are like 20 minutes or so are also getting better view numbers, which is great. And I'm not one of those people that's just like, here, you know, even though it can sound like it, I'm not obsessed with numbers, but I am focused on wanting people to watch my videos. I want people to see what I'm doing. Hey, Pat and Chess, welcome, Dirty. Happy to have you here. I want people to be able to find my stuff, right? By using tags, by word of mouth, by it appearing in their recommendations, and by having my VODs channel, which is never going to have huge numbers, contain all the VODs. It just helps a lot. How much editing time goes in those YouTube videos? So, Bobby, it depends on the videos. Pat Bear's Anime Club has almost zero editing time because it's generally, obviously the live one has no editing, but the ones that I do that are like 20 minutes in length, those are prepared. I do a lot of prep beforehand, but I usually I do it in OBS, and hopefully there will be zero editing done. And hopefully all I'm doing is I'm going in and using, you know, PowerPoint to add the photos and all that, or sometimes I use PowerPoint, sometimes I use a PDF, whatever I'm using. So almost no editing time. It's been mixed for my... Is this the right... Does this look right? Let me look at this head. Because they show you how it goes together, but not... Yeah, that goes up. Okay. All right, I got these right. I'm going to do some quick panel lining here. For Baer With Me, that depends on the video. So there's the very first one I did where I'm watching Hello, I'm Shelley Duvall. That's just one take, start recording, end. No editing done. Maybe a little editing when the video's over if it's no longer full screen. But the Crunchyroll video, the second episode of X-Arm, has a lot of editing because that was a 22-minute episode, and I wasn't going to watch the whole thing, or I was going to watch the whole thing, but I wasn't going to put up the whole thing because also a lot of it's boring because it's still a boring show. So then for that, I just put up the highlights. I just put up the stuff I thought was the most fun. That took some editing, right? Do you already have the whole list of React videos ready? So yes and no. I've been prepping to do this for a couple of months, so I have a list of a bunch of things I'd like to do. Also, a thing I need to do is make sure, like, I need to do these in advance because I'm going to run into problems. there is a video that I would have loved to react to that I did a reaction for. I put up, but because the video is a sound alike for a major recording artist, I reacted to a like not a parody, but like a sound alike of a major recording artist. Their records like block the video in all countries because the person that made it apparently is currently in a fight with the record label. So that video can never be shared with anyone. No one can view it. Uh, so I'm always afraid of that, right? Or yeah, I'm going to get a cease and desist on a video or something. Like even though it's me reacting and it is transformative, I'm always worried about that. So I have to like be ready to record other ones. So I have like a backlog. But the one that I'm putting up this coming Wednesday was literally recommended to me yesterday. And so I was like, oh, this is fun. I'll do that. So, like I said, I do have a bunch of ideas, but I'm definitely looking for people to leave me comments and recommend things because that's an easy way for me to like keep going. Have a good night, Harold. Um, yeah, because I want to. I always have to be afraid of. Oh, I cannot put this up. Uh, Nobody wants me to be able to comment on this. Uh, Also, I run the risk that any of them that it doesn't have to be like immediate. Like some of them will be immediate, right? Some of them will like probably come down. So my other series, background and characters, and um, bearing the list, I didn't keep backups of those. This show, I'm keeping backups of because uh, if for some reason it doesn't go through, if the people like, it doesn't matter if it doesn't really matter if my videos get demonetized because I'm not making money on these, really, anyway, or enough to consider that. But I do want to make sure that um, if there is an issue where it gets blocked in regions, that I have a backup of it so I could like edit it down, maybe figure out how to save it, or just archive for my own purposes. So I am archiving Baer With Me, which I wasn't necessarily planning on doing originally. But sometimes they're blocked in regions, and you can still download it off YouTube. Other times, some things get blocked and you can't download them. That's usually content related, where they're like, no, this thing doesn't exist anymore. You fucked up. And you're like, oh, shit, I fucked up. I don't get to archive this. Which is fine for, like I said, for most stuff. But, I don't want to lose all the cool shit that I'm making. It is a weird thing. Doing this reacts video is a strange thing. Where I want to have the up for like 5 to 6 days before it goes live to everybody. So I'm recording them on Thursday, just so that I have time to make sure that everything's cool with them and that they are able to be then shared with people, and I'm not running into any problems. Sorry for some of the questions, says Bobby. I'm just really curious about streaming producing. No, I understand. Speaking of production, where do you plan on doing the cooking streams? I can't wait. Well, thank you, Bobby. Appreciate that. So, when will be February 10th. I will be doing my first cooking stream. I don't want to say streams because I don't know if this is going to like work in a way that I want to keep doing, but at the very least I'm going to do one on Wednesday, February 10th. My folks will be out of town for a month about, and so I can use the kitchen at 9 p.m. in the evening, my time, without disturbing them, which is exactly, I didn't want to do that because the kitchen is pretty open concept. It's not full open concept, but it's pretty open concept. And my loud voice and moving around at 9 p.m. would disturb my folks, and I do not wish to do that. Here in this bedroom, I am not disturbing them. As far as I know, I don't think my dad can hear me at all, and I believe my mom, with the door closed, does not hear me. She did hear me, apparently. I'll share this because I think this is a fun little bit of business. You might like this. Some of you may remember the one time that I did a Nuzlocke run. It was Pokemon Emerald Nuzlocke. The one and only Nuzlocke I've ever did. That is the only time my mom said I could hear you while you were streaming because you were yelling a lot. And if you watch that, you will know that it was a bad time and I did not enjoy it. And that is the only time that I've ever been told that my folks could hear me while I was streaming, which is great because I don't want to disturb them in the evening. Um, but yeah, they won't be around, so I can do something in the kitchen. I'm still like figuring it out. I might have a third camera angle. I'm playing around with that now because you can in OBS. You can use your phone as a camera and sync it. I have not attempted this. That is a thing I am planning on testing out, but that is definitely a thing you can do. And I'm really interested in trying that because I think that having a third camera uh, um, is would be nice because I want to have the camera that sees me, the camera that is my cooking where I'm doing prep work, so dicing and slicing and prepping and adding ingredients, and then I'm going to have my phone, I think, for a camera over the stove top, which will be used the least amount of everything. Most will be the prep area, but maybe when I'm like over the stove, I can have another camera angle, and that's so I'm thinking that's what I'm going to do instead of then having to move the overhead camera to a different spot. So that's the reason why you make sure to say this is not a Nuzlocke on every randomizer stream. Yes, because from that point on, I just do randomizer. I don't do Nuzlocks. The main reason I say that is because people will ask me, "Oh, is this a Nuzlocke?" And I don't want to disappoint them because there are a lot of people that love Nuzlocks, and I just don't have like I had a bad experience doing it, and that's not the vibe I like to have here on streams. I try to be positive on these streams. Sometimes life isn't, but I try to be. And the other reason is that like I didn't have fun doing it, so like I don't want people to come in like expecting a Nuzlocke and then be disappointed that I'm not doing one because it wasn't the vibe that I wanted to present on the stream. And then also, as I said, I did not enjoy my time doing it. I had a really bad run with that Nuzlocke where we just like couldn't. We just did not have the ability to defeat any Pokemon, and it was just a bad time. I wish it was better. It was not better. So that is in the past, and now I just do randomized runs, which are very fun. All right, so this goes up in here. It's gonna go like that, and that's gonna lock in there. Yeah. I love how these knees operate, where these pieces kind of move, and it just adds realism is not the right word, but it is something similar to that. It just adds like believability, I think, with how of these legs work, and it's just little details that I really love, and they're on all the kids of this age. I'm really just into it. We will take a pause for the calls in a moment or two, talk about ways you can support the channel if you're so inclined. We will get into that very soon. I want to get like one more piece of this done, and then we'll take our pause for the calls, talk about ways you can support the channel, and then, of course, talk about the anime shows I've been watching. I'll say this right off the bat as I'm finishing this. I am taking a break on Black Clover. So I did not watch this week's episode. I did not watch last week's episode. I will get back to it. But I'm getting a little busy these days, and even if Thursday theoretically is the most time to watch shows, what ends up happening is like I get busy on a Wednesday and I don't watch. I've got another Tuesday show to watch, so I don't get to the shows. And then on Thursday I have 3 shows to watch. One that's only a minute and a half, or 2 minutes, so it's not like it's a big deal. But the other 2 are full length, and I have to make sure I watch them because I want to talk about them on stream. So like I said, it's not the end of the world. It's not the biggest problem, but I'm just gonna take a Black Clover break, and that way I'll be able to eventually marathon through all of them and get caught up. We'll go here. We'll go here, and all right. I'm gonna put these 2 pieces on and close, and we'll eventually close this up. But okay, so this is going to go here and no. All right, I have to remember where these go. Like that, yeah. Go like this. So that way this can slide around, and then I'll show you how the hinge works. It's very similar on all of these kits, as I said, but because all of the Gundams in Gundam Wing are based on the original Wing Zero. So all of them are offshoots of the Wing. Okay. Pause for the cause time. First and foremost, if you're currently a subscriber, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the emote in the chat. Let the people know you're a subscriber. I appreciate that very much, everyone who's subscribed. You can also, let the people know that this is a thing you can do. If you want to become a subscriber, you could use Cash Money. You could use your Prime Gaming token, as we saw earlier, Zorbs, Prime Gaming user. That is another way to support the channel, is via that. You link your Amazon Prime with your Twitch, you get that token, you use that token on me. If you've been gifted a sub, you can convert that to a regular old subscription, and that conversion will happen once your gift sub is over. So if you've got 8 more days left on your gift sub, you sign up now, they don't charge you till 8 days from now. That is the thing you can do. You're under no obligation to do that. But if you want to support what I do, this is one way to do it. You could be like Bobby and gift a sub. You are, again, under no obligation to gift subs. Or if you want to gift a sub, you could do that. And that would be rad. That's another way to support what I do. Bits and coins, also always appreciated. So if you've been watching ads, things to get coins, and you want to pass those along to me, you totally could. I have other ways to support what I do. Again, we're going to go through this pretty quickly. We'll get back to building very soon. But I just want to talk about ways you can support the channel if you'd like. Well, or you could just be like Bobby and gift a bunch of subs. So we'll go through this real quick. I'm going to hit the old applause there. And then, welcome our new subscribers. Welcome, and also some returning subscribers. Welcome to Kures. Welcome to Distrusting Spectator. Welcome to Pinball Geek. Welcome to Jalv, and welcome to Zenalon. It's been a little while, Zenalon. Welcome. Enjoy your subs. Thank you so much, Bobby, for that. Please throw Bear Cave and Lego support, Lego site emotes in the chat. Welcome, everybody. I hope you enjoy your gifted sub. Be sure to thank, if you're in the chat at the moment and you feel like chatting, be sure to thank Bobby Dice Roller for those gifted subs. That's rad as hell. Like I said, I'm going to go through some ways you can support the channel if you'd like. We'll get back to building really soon, but I do need to talk about these ways. I have a Patreon. Should you join my Patreon today? No. On February 1st, join it. It's the end of the month. Don't worry about it. Did I post a video the other day that you should check out? Yeah. Because I make Q&A videos at the end of every month. So you can check that out. But patreon.com/PatBear. I got a Patreon. Join it if you'd like. You're under no obligation to do so. Let's see. What else do I have? Oh, one-time donations. If you're like, Pat, I can't subscribe, I can't join your Patreon, but I have a little bit of money now. Well, you could donate directly, because everything I make through donations, through being a subscriber, and through Patreon, being a subscriber here on Twitch, goes to buying model kits. This kit that I pre-ordered last year came from funds directly from supporters, because everything I make goes back into the feeding this machine of buying model kits. So I have some links you can do direct donations. Another way to support what I do is to say, Pat, you're building what I want you to build. I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, and I'm going to buy something on Amazon on your wish list, and then when it arrives, you got to build it next. Pat, do you have a list of gunplay you already put together, or do you mind doing the same ones multiple times? Bobby, I will get to that in 1 second. Let me put this link in here. So, I try not to rebuild things. I have a master document somewhere of every kit I built on stream. The exceptions to that being, I rebuilt the Death Scythe Hell custom because I built that like the second or third kit, and I kind of just wanted to build it again, and I got a good deal on it. But most of the time, if I'm building a kit again, it's because it is a new version of it. Or like, I've built this in the high grade, but I've never built it in the master grade. So I wanted to build the master grade because it's more detailed. The RX-782, I built in the master grade. I built the real grade version. I've built the entry grade version. So usually it's a different version. I built the Astray Red frame, the regular one, the Kai, but I've also built the Sengoku version, which is like it has extra arms. It has like shoulder arms. It's weird, but it's like a different version of it. So that kind in that way, but the exact same thing I've only done once. Um, all right, I have an Amazon wish list. I'm going to really quickly talk about these, and then we'll get back to building. Um, I've got some stuff in here I would like to build on stream. I got this uh, some Lego sets, including something maybe I'll build for Valentine's Day if you bought it off my wish list. I would save that for Valentine's Day. The Brickheads Valentine Bear. That'd be fun to build. I've got some of these nano blocks. I've never used nano blocks before, but they're now partnering with Bluefin and their Pokemon nano blocks, and I'd build those. I don't know. I've got a bunch of different stuff here. Some Pokemon model kits as well. Some stuff that's inexpensive, some stuff that is expensive. High grades, master grades, a bunch of different nonsense. They make a nanoblock Evangelion, and so I put one of those. That's very expensive. But it's the Ava 2 unit, and I was like, I don't know, I'll build that, I guess. If somebody wants to buy it, I'll build it. But I've got a bunch of things in there. You buy it, it comes in the mail. There's some equipment at the bottom. That is another way to support what I do. We'll get back to building in just a minute. Let's see. USA Gundam Store is the alternative. You could buy a gift card to USA Gundam Store, and then they send you a code in the email. Then you send me that code through a DM on Twitter, and it's acting like the Amazon wish list, in which case it jumps to the queue, yada, yada, yada. A free way to support what I do is join my Discord. I've got a Discord. It's very chill. I post build photos after every build stream. People post stuff they're working on. It's very laid back and fun. I recommend it. I think it's got good vibes and good energy. So if you're looking for that, people post the stuff they're working on. It's nice. All right. So what else do I need to share with you? A couple of videos. Yes. So I've got Pat Bear's Anime Club. I have a new episode coming out on Monday. The past episode was my anime top 10 for 2020. My 10 favorite shows of last year. And also, if you're like, Pat, I don't want to watch that video, I'd rather read about it. Well, all those top 10, I wrote about them for GiantBomb.com because Alex was like, hey, do you want to do a top 10 games list? And I said, yes, but I don't want to talk about video games. I want to talk about anime. And he was like, okay, sure, be weird with it. So I did that. So you can check that out if you missed it. And then Baer With Me is a weekly show where I react to things. And this week I reacted to Door That Sounds Like Miles Davis. There's a door somewhere in the world that when it's closing, it sounds like Miles Davis. And I reacted to that video because I don't know, I wanted to react to that video, so I did. All right, we're going to get back to building here. Time to complete the legs, or work on the legs more. Go back to the overhead. Work on these legs, and I'm going to tell you about some anime. I got to get ready for this, and I'm going to tell you about some anime that I'm watching that maybe you're interested in hearing about for the past couple days. And I need to do this. Great. Anime. Let's talk about some shows. That time I got reincarnated as a slime. Season 2. This is my least favorite show of this season, and might be my least favorite episode of That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. Things at the end kind of let you believe that maybe we're going to have some stuff happening. This season has been like really light. The first few episodes, really just like, hey, this is happening, and this is okay, and then there's no consequences for this, and no big deal. And this episode was mostly that, but at the end, things are kind of happening. Anyway, Rimru's talking to the King Gazelle, the king of the dwarfs, the armed kingdom of Dwargon. He's talking to the dwarf king, who kind of like, he seems Rimuru as kind of like his like underclassman, like his younger brother type. So he's definitely kind of like leading by example. They have a fairly fine conversation about stuff. about like, hey, I made a I'm going to be trading with Carrion's animal people, and he's like, oh shit, that's pretty good. And things are going great, but then apparently Shion got some booze in her, and she's just gets sloppy. Uh, I don't hate the person who seems to be really responsible isn't really responsible trope, but Shion is one of the strongest characters in the show, and you would not know that from the way that she is the butt of many jokes. And I kind of am sick of that. I want her to have her cool moments too. Like even her cool moment in the first episode, or the yeah, even in the cool moment, or end of the first episode into the second episode, it's still undercut by her being goofy, and I'm like, meh, I kind of like that. Rimuru gives a speech to the Dwarven people because this was like part of him coming here was like declaring their peace treaty between the two nations, and he's like, I would love it if everyone could get along. That's kind of like, you know, many of you are humanoid-looking monsters. I'm looking out for all monsters. I got a lot of different monsters living where I'm at. That's kind of my thing. It's nice little speech. Geisel isn't impressed with it. He thought it was too soft, which, he would. Let's see, what else happened in this episode? Oh, my least favorite part of season 1 is that in Dwargen there's an elf cafe. It's basically like, it's like a hostess club, but with elf ladies. And so some of the goblin boys show up and go to that. The only good part of this episode is that Shion and Shuna found out and are real mad. And apparently one of the dumber goblin guys was just like, oh, I told her where we were going. She asked where we were going, and I told her. Why would I lie to her? And you're like, okay. Yeah, so that wasn't great. We do fast forward, though, to Yom, who is the human champion guy. The guy that I think is pretty neat. I think that's a pretty cool character. Yom. He is like, basically, he's already a pretty good dude, but they're like making it so that like, hey, say you represent this kingdom and you're a good person, spread the word about what we're doing. And also, if anything gets defeated, like the orc disaster, we're going to say you did it, because people will accept that a brave hero and his party conquered this. They are going to think it's kind of weird that a slime beat an overpowered orc army. So we're just going to say you did it. And he's like, okay. How do they figure out what to make anime about? Like, I feel like so many animes now are isekai with goblins. Are Japanese people just really into goblins now? So, anime is a business. Anime is an advertisement for manga, because manga sells very well. Light novels are a way to get something you made turned into a manga, because manga sell very well. Web novels are a way to get attention of the industry, so that your thing, which may or may not also be a light novel, gets made into a manga, because manga is big business. Anime is advertisements for the manga. That's why they're quick to point out when a successful anime, how the manga sales go up, because a book may have been struggling a little bit, but once people watch that anime, they gotta get that manga. Because also, the manga's gone longer than the anime. So if you watch 12 episodes of a show, it actually sometimes doesn't benefit the production to make a second season, because they'd rather sell you all of the manga. And if you're like, if it didn't do super well as an anime, but sold enough extra manga. So then they'll go back and you'll buy the weeklies of the new stuff, but you'll also buy the collections, the graphic novels of the old one. So anime seems way more expensive than manga. Yeah, but that's because the returns on manga are very fucking good. Also, manga is a machine. Shonen Jump being weekly, filled with a bunch of different collections, and the various other magazines that are like Shonen Jump. that's a machine and a process. And Japan is still a small country, but it's still a process to do. So they need to feed that machine, and a way to feed the machine is to constantly be increasing interest in the product. Also, if a mangaka had a series that didn't do super well, uh, and then a later series got turned into an anime, well, guess what? People are going to go buy that manga. Um, they're going to go find the collections. They're going to reprint the shows that didn't do as well because they're suddenly people are more invested or more interested, I should say, in it because now they're like, well, I like this creator. I'm going to go check out their old stuff. Oh, I didn't even know they had an old series. I'm going to go back and take a look at that. That sounds rad. So it becomes an advertisement for the body of work. And it's a whole thing. So really, look, are there original anime productions that aren't based on a manga? Are there stuff that is made that's based on a video game? Yes, there are things that exist outside of there. But those people are also hoping that their original properties can then be turned into manga. Like Maisetsu Opening Act, the show that I liked last season about the girls that want to be stand-ups, or a particular style of stand-up. That show that show was coming out, and then a manga was produced to capitalize on the fact that people seemed actually interested in the show, and they were like, oh, well, we're going to make a manga of this because this will sell even better if people are like, can also read it while they're waiting for the show to come out. Yeah, it's a business. Um, like one of the best-selling books last year was Demon Slayer, because Demon Slayer was one of the most popular anime of last year. So people went back and bought everything they could find of Demon Slayer because they were like, holy shit, Demon Slayer is the truth. In 2019, they thought that. So in 2020, they started buying up all the manga to keep reading because they wanted to get caught up so they could watch the movie that was coming out. It's a whole process. And isekai make money. So people made isekai. Light novels of isekais got optioned into manga, got optioned into anime, which means that Japan wants to read isekai. Not all of Japan, but enough of Japan wants to read isekai that people were like, well, do you have a light novel that's an isekai? Okay, then you get to make that. Then we're going to option that. We're going to collect that. We're going to print fucking money by going ahead with this. Yeah, and then it becomes a vicious cycle, and then people start making their own thing because they're like, I am an idealist. I don't want to make the thing that's popular. I want to make the thing I'm most interested in making. So I'm going to make my own show that's different, or I'm going to make my twist on it, or I'm going to cash in and make the most generic thing I could possibly think of, and thank God people want to watch it. Read it. It's wild how that move has made more money than any other anime movie, or was it movies in general? So, I believe it is the movie for Demon Slayer, which is the next arc, the train, has made it. It's not the highest grossing movie, but it's definitely the highest grossing anime movie. And was one of the biggest grossing movies in 2020, which obviously asterisk COVID, but still Japan had movie theaters open more than other countries, longer I should say. But yeah, it's made a lot of money. It's a very popular show. Anyway, do you have any recommendations for someone who is interested in doing Gunpla? Yes, I do. Gundam. Doing Gundam. So by doing Gundam, I think you're talking about doing model kits, right? So my suggestion, if you want to get into building model kits, is you're going to want to look for the entry grade RX 782. Also, if you look for entry grade Gundam, you'll find it because it's the original Mobile Suit Gundam. It's the very first one. Entry grade is brand new. I built it last year. It is the the starter kit. You don't need any tools to assemble it. There are no stickers involved. You just follow the instructions, which are in English, and you can put it together, and you get the original Gundam. That is the starting point. It's the entry grade. It's also inexpensive. It's small, but it's inexpensive. It doesn't need anything to build. No tools. You can snap them right out, put it together, follow along, and you'll assemble it. And it is the starting point, because when you put that together, I think by the time you're done putting that together, you will know if you want to keep building Gundam. From there, you move on to entry grade, the 144 scale entry grades. At that point, there's a lot of kits out there. I would say if you're going to build an entry grade, get something that was released in 2018 or later. 2017, 2018. The more modern, the better, because Bandai always gets better at building model kits. At that point, if there's a show you like, you can build a kit based on that, right? If there isn't a show that you know about, because you're just like, I don't know, I just think Gundam look cool and I want to get into doing Gunpla, then you just find something that looks neat. But yeah, do that. When you're done with, you've done a few high grades and you're thinking, now it's time to do a master grade. Like, yeah, just make sure that you're ready for it, because master grades are a lot of work. We're doing a master grade here. This is an old kit that's been reissued and re-released, but they're still complicated. And also, master grades are fucking really expensive right now. 2020 was a bad year for people that wanted to get into model kits. 2021 is also a tough year to get into model kits. They're expensive because exporting stuff is just pricey right now. It's just hard to get stuff out the door. So it's hard to really get into model kit building. High grades are cheaper. They're more expensive than they used to be, but they're still cheaper. You can find stuff on Amazon. You can go to Gundam Planet or USA Gundam Store to buy stuff. Those are East Coast. I don't know about West Coast places, but you can buy them there. Hobby shops will do curbside pickup. Some of them do limited hours. Some of them are doing mail order. So you can hopefully find something local, because, supporting local business is great. Right now, I don't have anything local. I wish I did. I wish there was something local around here that I could support, but unfortunately, that is not an option that I have right now. So I can't shop local. But eventually, I would love to. I'd absolutely love to be able to support a local business with my purchases. But I use Amazon for stuff because it shows up at my door. Hopefully, rather conveniently. I want to talk to you about the second season of Laid Back Camp. The best show. Is it the best show of the season? It's one of. It's definitely the best returning show of the season. Love it so much. This episode of Laid Back Camp was chill as fuck, as usual. We just had some camping, a couple episodes ago. This one is more of just like, winter break is over. Chiaka got some gifts from folks. It's very nice because she couldn't travel because she had to work at the liquor store. The thing, and also it's all food. All the gifts she got were food related, because this show cares about three things: camping, friendship, and food. It cares about those three things and very little else. So we had a good episode of them. Like, I'm going to do some panel lining on here as I talk, of them talking about, hey, what are things you're going to buy with the money you made over the winter break? Because all of them have, some of them have part-time jobs, and then Nadesco had a temp job. So they're all talking about what they're going to buy. Chica got a tarp, which is going to go over their areas to kind of keep the weather from them. And they talk about maybe getting a ground cloth. Let's see, what else did they talk about buying? Oh, Ali wants a folding table, or folding chair, I should say, like the low folding chair like the Rin has. She thinks that will be cool, and they're like, "Ooh, yeah, that would be cool." Um, let's see. Uh, oh, Nadesco wants to buy that lantern. She saw it when they went to the outdoor store, the camping store, last season, and she's apparently been going back there to look at it as she waits to get paid for her temp job. Um, she apparently the girls there have nicknamed her the what do they call her? I wrote it down. Let's see. Candle lamp girl. They call her the candle lamp girl because she's so focused on getting that candle lamp, which I thought was cute. Uh, and let's see. Anna was talking with Rin, and she bought a little tent for her dog. She's got a Chihuahua, and she bought a little tent for the dog so that the dog can go camping with them and have a little doggy camp area, and also can be used at home. And it's adorable. It's very cute. Uh, yes, Christian. Also, hi, Christian. We'll get to that at the end of the episode. Um, so, Nadesco's thinking about trying solo camping, but she also needs a new part-time job. Luckily, her sister finds her possible work at a place that hasn't advertised in the magazine about jobs, because it's hard to get work in this area for high schoolers, part-time work. But it looks like Nadesco is going to get a job, or at least she's going to apply for it before it goes out to other people and they can scoop it up. So good work for her. And then Nadesco gets the lamp. It's not Coleman. It's like a fake name, but it's definitely supposed to be a Coleman lamp. It's just they can't call it that, or they choose not to call it that. But she gets it and then almost drops it, but she didn't. And she also, while she was there, she got Sakura, her sister, a reusable hand warmer, because she goes through the temporary hand warmers all the time because she drives, but she's very cold in the mornings, and she's a cold person. So Nadesco used some of the money she made at her job to get that for her sister, which is lovely. It was lovely. Great little episode. Just the cool, chill things. I don't care that things don't happen because it's fun, and their characters are so natural and interact so well together. They're so lovely. I just want good things for all these girls. The idea of Nadesco solo camping seems fun. Like, that could be very fun. And I want to see more of these characters interacting with more cool gear. Also, there's a point where they try out that, I forgot to say, they try out the tarp, and they Chiaka forgot the poles, so they use Nadesco as a pole, and it's just very silly. Bobby says, I wanted this a guy that ends up being a slice of life. What if a girl gets turned into a slime, or just went and opened a disc golf course? So, yeah, isekais that are kind of chill. Last season we had By the Grace of the Gods, and there was some action in it, but that was mostly a slice of life. That show was incredibly chill. Like I said, there were some fight scenes, but it was very kind of like relaxed fight scene stuff. Like, it was over very quickly, and it was mostly about like this guy kind of exploring his new life and having moments of like interactions with other people and like finding cool people. So that show was pretty chill. Let's see. Some of the comedies, isekais, I should say, are a little slice of lifey. Kimono Michi, I don't think is a good show. I think that's not a great show, but that is pretty slice of lifey. You have a professional wrestler is summoned because he's called like the Beast Master or whatever, and so they summon him to defeat the beasts, and he's just like, no, I'm gonna hang out with these beasts. I want to open up a pet shop. Now, that show has a lot more action than what my description implies. Unfortunately, it has a lot more action, and is also, I think the jokes are bad, and I don't think it's a good show. But it is attempting to do something a little different, and so I can at least applaud the attempt. Bookworm is pretty chill. Yeah, Bookworm has its fucking drama moments. Especially, I think the second season has definitely more drama. But it also has a lot of just like, I'm going to figure out how this world works kind of shit. Um, and the first season of That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime certainly has some heavy moments and some drama in it and some sad moments as well. But it's not all like action, I'm here to save the world. Um, the chillest is. What's the name of that one? It's Dog something or other. Damn. I forget. But there's a show that's aimed as more the young market, and it's about a young boy that gets summoned to a world of like cat people and dog people, um, because heroes from Earth are their champions oftentimes, and they settle all their disputes with like obstacle fights, like that all their fighting is done in these big events, so that people don't get hurt. And it's got a more laid back feel to it. I forget the name of it. It's got dog in the name, but it's, as far as isekais go, it's pretty chill. All right. Heaven's Design Team. I want to tell you about Heaven's Design Team. This was a good episode. I really love this show. I think the vibes are really fun. I think you kind of like this one. I don't think I like learned about many species that I haven't heard about before, but I'm often like taken aback by like, oh, I didn't know this thing existed. Anyway, this one was a lot about how like God is a bad client because God created the heaven and the earth, and He created people, and then He started working on animals, and then He was like, this is hard. I'm gonna bring in some people to do the work. Y'all get to the work, and I'll just approve it. So there's a design team for heaven, and they are dealing with God's requests and trying to make Him happy or it happy. We don't see God; we just hear God, and God's got opinions on stuff. This episode was everyone's got design requests from God that they're struggling with. God is being a problem client. That is the overarching theme of this episode. Um, Eventually, the one that designs really pretty things, she makes a bat with some help. This is also like a lot of people helping each other. So she makes a bat, and then she designs the hummingbird, and then accidentally collaborates with the guy who only likes efficient designs that made the snake, and they kind of compromise. But then God approves the design they don't like, which is the ostrich, because it's not pretty. It's not a pretty bird. She created birds. But it's not fully efficient because it has feathers, which it doesn't need because it doesn't fly. But so it's like a compromise that neither loves, but the client loves it. So they're like, well, if the client loved it, I guess we got to go through with it. Which is very true about doing design work. I have very limited experience in this field, but yeah. And then later, God wants more animals with stripes. God is interested in stripes. So they're all kind of struggling with that. There's a lot about like they're trying to get the zebra right, but they're afraid the zebra will attract too many animal or too many predators. So they're like, I don't know if we can do the zebra thing. And the guy that creates cute things ends up coming up with the panda, which is two-toned all over. So it's kind of like stripes. I don't know if that counts as stripes, but whatever. God seems psyched about it, so that's cool. The zebra gets approved, which is the guy that created the horse. He's big on animals that look like horses, so he gets a zebra approved. And then at the very end, there's some commotion with like a bad design choice. They get really scared about it. One of the angels, who is basically like the go-between between the client and the designers, is I forget her name, but she's sent to hell. And so I guess this show is going to have some sort of plot, which I was very surprised about. I did not expect this show to have plot. So I was like, oh, weird. Okay, I guess we're going to have some plot in this show. But yeah, Heaven's Design Team is really fun. It is weirdly educational. It's got a great cast. I really recommend it. It has I will say this. The woman that loves pretty things is in all documentations called a woman, but is played. The voice actor is male, identifies as male, because Venus is a trans character, and that is not discussed, does not come up for laughs, is not played. It's just that this woman has a deeper voice than most uh, other characters, but it is not played for jokes. There's no 5 o'clock shadow bullshit things that are happening, and I think that's pretty fucking cool. It's a minor thing about that show, but I do think it's cool. And the last show I want to talk to you about is Anime Kapibarasan, which is a 2-minute show where this episode, everyone loves apples. The capybaras help each other to get apples. That's the whole episode. Is it for kids? Yes. Do I still love it? Yes. I still think it's a fantastic show, even if it is for kids. But yeah, this episode was just about how everybody loves apples and they gotta work together to get some of those apples because they're in tall trees and sometimes hard to get. And that was the episode. I fucking love it. Damn, I love that show. Anime Kapibara-san fucking rules. It's just great. It's just great. Yeah, and that's it for me talking about anime this season, or this since the last episode. There'll be more because there's more anime, for me to talk about. I'm gonna try. I don't know if it'll be for Saturday, but I'm gonna try to watch the first episode of Skate. That's SK the number 8. It is a legal downhill racing, skate racing series, like skateboarding series, that they call S. And there are beefs. And that's all I know about it, except that, like, I know that a couple people that were really talking the show up, and so I thought it sounded terrible. But apparently, it's good. So I'm going to at least watch one episode to find out what's up. But I don't know if it'll be for Saturday. It might be for Monday, because I have less shows to watch Sunday and Monday. Do they do much lead speak in anime titles? Lord Crashton, not really. I think that it's called Skate, because this show is trying to be cool. And also, they wanted a term you could search for and that would come up, I guess. I don't know. Again, I don't know anything about this. I do believe the main character doesn't know anything about skateboarding and is secret and somehow is accidentally or through fate good at it, which I'm kind of interested in the idea of. But I don't know. I don't know how it's going to work out, but I'm going to try to watch it. I do want to watch one episode. Again, I don't know if this is going to be for Saturday or if this is going to be a thing I watch for Monday. Because I do know at some point I'm going to stop watching X-Arm, which is terrible, because it is terrible and boring. Eventually, it'll stop being fun to laugh at and will just be a bad show, and I know that's coming. So, because it can only be so bad before it's just worthless. I do want to see the big mech fight the robot suit, because that's coming next episode. So I am looking forward to watching that to see how bad that's going to be, because I bet it's going to be bad. So I am somewhat interested in that badness. But I know eventually it's just going to be not fun to watch. All right. We're going to finish up the legs here before we go and raid another stream. We got the time to do it, so let's get it done. Let's get all our legs done. We still have to do the waist, and then the other part of the waist, because this era kits had the waist unit and then also had the extra thing, and then we have to build the arms and the dragon fangs. We got to do the twin titan. We got to do the trident, I should say. We got to do the backpack. I don't think we're going to finish this on Saturday. We might finish it on Saturday, but I think we're actually going to finish it up on Monday. But we'll at least get the legs done here, because we're almost done with the legs. And we can maybe start the waist. But yeah, I don't think we're going to finish this up, because the dragon fangs, the arm things, do take a little while to put together. if I remember correctly. Well, that's fine. It's been a hot minute since we did a master grade, and this is a fantastic master grade, so I don't mind taking my time with it, having fun. Uh, but yeah, I think that was the show I wanted to check out. I don't know if there's anything else I'm kind of like gonna make sure I do in the next 2 days. Like, I don't really talk about the kind of work stuff I'm doing here and there. Most of it is very boring. It's not just things that I want to talk about. It's because it's just like, I don't know. I did a little data entry for this group. I wrote a thing that is internal and won't be released and doesn't matter for anyone. I did an hour of customer service for a site last minute. None of it is exciting. I was just talking earlier about how much I had fun playing Jackbox on New Year's. Do you plan on doing anything interactive like that in the near future? Jackbox is always an option. Jackbox is a little tough. I think it's better now that we can do the thing where you have to be logged into Twitch to do it, because that does reduce the amount of jerks. But Jackbox is tough when I do interactive stuff like that, because it does attract just problem people. And not that many, but enough. But yeah, I definitely am thinking about doing that again. It's always a possibility. Because I do right now. I've thought of the first 2 bonus streams in February. Because how many can I do here? Because there's 28 days in February. Let me go look at the month here while I get this last piece I need. Okay, so February. Yeah, there are four Wednesdays in February. So I know the first one is going to be Hearthstone, because I haven't played Hearthstone in a little while. I haven't played Hearthstone since the new mini expansion came out, so we'll play that. I haven't played it on stream, I should say. I've been playing it on my own time. So we got that coming out. And then so yeah, I think that'll be something the first week. And the second week will be the cooking stream. So maybe the third or fourth week, it's possible I might do another Jackbox stream. I do enjoy them, but like I said, occasionally they can be a little bit of a bummer. And we didn't really play a lot because it was just like the last hour before New Year's. So maybe we can get another game in. Yeah, I will take it under advisement. It is fun to play with people. I've been playing a little Jackbox with friends just in our free time and not non-streaming. I try to have a few things that are for me. Like, I got a couple shows that I'll certainly talk about them in conversation, but I'm not talking about the events of them every week live here on during a stream. They're kind of just like, oh, I'll talk about the end, and then I'm watching them as they happen because I'm enjoying them. And that's kind of like how I'm treating it. Same thing of like, I'm never going to stream myself playing DDR. I've been playing Step Mania, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. My ankles are getting sore, but I'm having a good time with it. But that's not something I want to stream. That's like a thing for me that I'm just doing on my own time, and I'm really enjoying that. But that is kind of like my vibe right now. You don't gotta talk about it every week, but it's fun to hear what you're up to. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like, when I'm really engaged in the thing I'm doing, I'm much more interested in talking about it. But like I said, I like having a few things that are just for me that's important, because I am model kit building is a thing that I started streaming so that I would force myself to have the time to model kit build. And that's great. And I love it. And I love that I do it 3 times a week. And I think that's great. I'm really enjoying it. But there are occasionally times where I'm like, oh, I could work on it. Nope, I can't work on a kit. So, what's your favorite DDR song to play versus DDR? Bobby, I'm going to let you figure out. I don't know. Listen to. Let's see. I don't know. So, okay. You know what? I don't like dancing to Captain Jack songs. Captain Jack songs are really fun. Those are early DDR tracks. those are very fun and enjoyable, but I never really liked dancing to them because I think just the beat was just not where I wanted them. And I think the tricky versions weren't what I was looking for, and that's kind of where I play. I don't play heavy. I usually play, normal or tricky. So I never really loved them as much as some other songs. Um, my favorite song to dance to is on Tricky, the song Freckles, which is Freckles is so weird. I think I've talked about Freckles on this stream. It's a fantastic tune, but the origin stories are bizarre. So it is. Freckles is one of the openings from Rurouni Kenshin, but it's not the Japanese version. It is a dance remix of the Danish version, but it's English lyrics. It's someone from the Netherlands recorded their cover of Freckles, and then it's remixed for DDR. And that doesn't make any sense, and I don't know how it happened, and I don't know why it happened, but it happened, and I love it. But Freckles is a fantastic song to dance to. It's a nice warm-up song on normal, and then on Tricky, it's complicated and really fun dance patterns. The same as how I felt with erotic or whatever they were called. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, there are some songs that I just, like, don't like dancing to, but I think are cool songs. But yeah, Freckles is a rad track, and I don't understand how it got made. I don't understand, like, I forget the name of the artist that covered it, that this is the remix of, but I remember her Wikipedia page didn't list Freckles, because it wasn't, like, a hit. It wasn't like a big deal uh, in the Netherlands. She had other songs that were bigger hits, and I'm like, well, how the fuck? Why did this happen? And why is it in DDR? Why is it remixed in DDR? I don't understand. But that was one of the first songs I made sure I downloaded when the time was right. When it came to getting some songs for Stepmania, I was like, well, I have to have Freckles. I was about to say Butterfly, but the tricky version of Butterfly is fun. The three-step patterns in that, because it's a good song, but it's the normal is very basic and very easy. But the tricky version, I think, is fun. There's a lot of good steps in there. Gotta work hard for it. Little triple steps. But yeah, I'm having fun with DDR. It is just my relaxation thing, or exercise, really. Some of it's relaxing, sometimes it's stressful. But it was like 40 something degrees today, which is not super cold, but I am not used, I'm used to really cold temperatures, and this is not really cold temperatures, but it's still like, with 40 degrees, I don't really want to be in a garage riding a bicycle. So I'd rather just dance around. That is more fun for me to do. So I'm doing that. And that's been pretty great. It's been pretty great. All right, so green, we use black. So we'll get a little black on this piece here before we put them on. Bobby says, Cowgirl. My favorite, dumb favorite is Cowgirl because it teaches you how to gallop. A really dumb favorite is Dynamite Rave because it's everyone's DDR improv dance intro. Oh yeah, Dynamite Rave, yeah. No, yeah, you those are two good ones. I haven't danced on Cowgirl in a long time. Dig that up. I haven't. The thing for Stepmania right now is I haven't gotten into the custom stuff. I've just been doing old songs that I remember and like. But eventually, I will start getting into some stuff that isn't in DDR. Like I'm expecting to start picking some stuff up that I'm like, well, I'm just getting this because that's a cool song. So I guess I'll just get the chart for it, see what people did with it. All right, so I'm just doing some lines here, cleaning it up, cleaning it up. right. And putting that there. And, ooh, we got a back piece. E. I gotta get E here. D. E is, what is E? White? No. Gonna have to go in here and reorganize all of this, but that's okay. F. This will be one of the last things we do on the stream anyway, so it's okay. Oh, we don't need this. There's E. All right, E. 13. What high grade do you recommend? So, if you're going to start with a high grade, I would say you want to get something that came out in the last couple years, because 2017, 2018 plus, those are just going to be high quality. They've really gotten a good level on that. There was a pretty recent Zaku 2 high grade that I really liked. Also, I really like the Devil Army because it's weird. It's like got four legs. It's got 4 legs. The Devil Army Gundam high grade is just a weird kit, and I really liked it. But there's a lot of high grades out there that are recent. The Build Divers series and the Build Fighters series are like remixes of traditional mobile suits. So they're a little wild, but they're very fun high grades. Especially if you get like the core ones. If they say core in it, they're going to be a little inexpensive because they are like, they want you to eventually buy upgraded armor to put on it and all this other accessories and extras. So they're not that expensive, but I think they turn out really good. So that's something to consider. The Leo is an amazing high grade, but it might spoil you for other kits. Yeah, that Leo is really great, but yeah, it's a lot. Because some of the Build Divers, because they're like remixes on traditional Gundams and mobile suits, they are wacky. And they get a little wild. All right, we're going to wrap up there. We got some of the waist done. We'll keep working on the waist, but we got a lot of this kit built. And we'll probably finish. We might end up finishing up on Saturday. It might take the whole stream, but we might get through all of this on Saturday. So I'm going to have to get an email out to people. Oh, Lord Crashton wants me to get that gong, the end of stream gong. I'm going to hit this right here. There you go. Thank you for using your channel points for the gong, Lord Crashton. So we are going to raid, because that's what we do at the end of every stream. We go and raid somebody who somebody I know out here in the world of Twitch. We'll find somebody rad. Hopefully they will be. Oh, Bobby wants to hit that gong as well. Double gong. All right. I'm going to do that again because I didn't hit that one that hard. So I'm going to do it again. Great. Yeah, so I'm going to find somebody to raid. Hopefully they've been streaming for a while, and they're not just going to stop immediately. But let's see. Jordan's playing the Outer Worlds. We're going to go raid Jordan. Jordan's playing the Outer Worlds, doing a dumb run, which I don't know what that means. But we're going to find out by going and raiding him. We're going to raid. Jordan is fantastic. Great community. Good people. So we're going to go give Jordan a raid. Feel free to come along on this. Check something out a little different. I hope you'll come along on the raid. If not, Saturday, 9 p.m. Eastern. We're going to keep working on this kit. We're going to finish this thing up or get most of the way done with it on Saturday. So come back, check that out. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you have a great night. If you're new to the streams, please hit the follow button. Give me a follow. Turn your notifications on so you know when to go live. I'll see you Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Thanks so much. Come along on this raid. Have a great night. Thanks for being here. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.